Hi, and welcome to Rise, Heal, and Grow. I'm Leah M. Hill. This show is a podcast production of Apollo Sunrise Center, which is a holistic wellness retreat center in Newburyport, Massachusetts, offering interactive experiences for learning, transformation, and growth. On this show, we shine the light on those who nurture wellness and inspire positive change. My guest today is a perfect example of someone who shines her light each and every day. I would like to introduce Donnadia Lowre of You Are a Soul Song.
Oh, it's
Hello,
so
Donnadia.
Hello, Leah. It's so nice to be here.
Oh, it's good to have you here. And I want to start off with a little bit of your background. Now, you actually were an actress and a singer when you started out.
And I still do those, but in a different context.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a lot of TV and daytime, nighttime, commercials, all kinds of things for years in New York and LA. And then theater is my joy, my loved. And so I still do theater when there's something, usually my own shows, because I've written a couple of plays, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I'll do one-woman plays. I have a play called In Her Own Voice, and it's women in scripture, but they're very, how can I say this? Different than most people see them.
Oh,
yeah.
So you kind of give the background and
it was kind of downloaded to me.
Okay.
So these women are incredible.
Wow.
Incredible, and that's our history.
Yeah.
You know? So and singing. I've sung in New York and LA, and all around the country. And now I use those talents in what I do in You Are a Soul Song.
You Are a Soul Song. So tell us what You Are a Soul Song is, and really how this phrase of You Are a Soul Song, which is unusual, like how that came about for you.
Well, I played Emily Dickinson in The Belle of Amherst. And in the play, it's a one-woman play, and in the play she said, "Every one of you is to me a poem. You and you, each one a rare creation. Perhaps that is why I love you and you love me, whether we know it or not." So I thought about that because I really love playing her.
Yeah.
And I thought, so I'm a singer, so mine was be a soul song instead of a poem.
Right.
So I see everyone as a soul song, each one an individual, each person unique, and each one needed. You're needed to shine in this world. Your talents and gifts are needed. We need you.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, and it just evolved now into your business, your company of You Are a Soul Song, where you do these performances.
Yes, I do performances, and I will do practices of self-care.
Okay.
But there's a theme, and each theme I will talk about what it is, whether it's the divine feminine, whether it's loving oneself, whatever it is. And then I will sing, and then I lead singing. So everybody sings, and you know because you've attended.
We did it at Apollo Sunrise Center. Yes, we did.
And so we sing together.
Yep.
And dance.
Yep.
And then do meditation, and I teach mindfulness through this. So I can either do a show or speaking as an inspirational speaker.
Okay.
And just love it. I love the interaction with the people, the audience, and in the show. That's special for me.
Yeah. Well, I loved, too, when you were at Apollo Sunrise Center and you did your performance and you got everybody up and moving, and you did it in a way that wasn't like intimidating for people that don't want to dance or don't want to, feel uncomfortable or something, but you were able to connect with the audience, which I really appreciated, in a way that made people feel comfortable to participate without it feeling like, oh gosh, people are looking at me or I'm dancing or something. It was just like easy, fun movement, and everyone, I think, really enjoyed that.
Oh,
and
thank
being
you.
a part of that.
That's what I want to do, because singing is a feeling. And we need to feel more and get out of our heads.
Right.
When we sing, we are even more deeply feeling, because it's coming from our hearts. It's coming, and in our body, we need to move.
Yes.
Movement's really important. So I know that when people get together, that they will be able to sing. Mm-hmm. And this is what I encourage them. You don't have to have the best voice in the world just to enjoy singing.
Yeah.
And moving and, doing dance.
Right. And just being a part of that experience,
yes.
I think,
yes.
is true. So let's talk a little bit about your spiritual journey, because that's been a big part of your life. Mm-hmm. So when did you first realize that you were sort of walking this path of this spiritual journey? And it was probably different for most of us, different than the people around us at the time, for most of us who started
true.
young in
That's
spiritual
true.
journeys. Where did yours start?
Well, I was 5 years old, actually, and I was lying in bed, and I knew nothing about God or any kind of, my parents didn't teach me that. They didn't take me to church then. But there was this energy that came, and it was all different colors, and it was very beautiful experience for me. So, and I didn't think anything of it, but through my childhood, I loved ritual. Mm-hmm. I grew up Catholic, but I loved high mass because of the smells and bells. And also, I had a boyfriend who was his father played the organ, and so he was an altar boy.
Okay.
And so I could sit up in the balcony and watch all this. But for me, there was always a spiritual part of this. I used to walk by the cemetery and say prayers for the people there. But that was, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but that is very unusual for a child to have that, to not have the instructional training, like you said, but to be tuned in like that.
Yes.
And maybe because of that mystical experience that you had?
I think it's, for my journey, I mean, I ended up leaving the Catholic Church. I was very angry, especially about women's issues. And yet I loved Mary very much and St. Francis, so, and the women that I knew. But, so I actually was an atheist for many years. I thought I was. I wasn't, but I thought I was. So I studied philosophy in New York with a group of people, with Ayn Rand, who was an objectivist, and she was an atheist. And so I was with them studying philosophy, which really has helped me in my education. All of this has. And then I left there because it didn't feel right for me.
Okay.
So from there, I ended up in Native American worship. I did a lot of full moon medicine wheels and with a shaman. Had a wonderful birthday with her. We journeyed. And then Self-Realization Fellowship, which is Paramahansa Yogananda.
Yes.
And so I was meditating. I'm a Kriya Ban yogi.
Kriya yoga. Oh,
Kriya yoga, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yes, and then through that, because Jesus and Krishna were the teachers there, I came back, actually, to the teachings of Jesus. And then went to seminary in midlife.
Wow.
So I was called in midlife to go. It wasn't a surprise to me. Surprise to other people.
Well, that is an interesting journey, but, not unusual for many of us, too. It's like what's unusual is how you got there. But,
that's right.
Yeah, but a lot of us have had a very different direction throughout our lives, too. So this whole journey, did it like teach you? Was there any thread or something that you learned throughout this journey with studying the different practices and the Kriya Yoga and the Native Americans? Was there anything that's like that taught you about spirit? Were there any commonalities or anything that you could think of?
Well, what from all my studies, because now I'm New Thought, Ageless Wisdom. That is, and it's New Thought, Ageless Wisdom.
Okay, you might have to explain that, but go ahead.
You know, I'm not religious. It's spiritual. Yeah, and I'm an ordained minister. I went to seminary for 4 years, but I'm now with New Thought, Ageless Wisdom. It's very inclusive of everything. Okay. I think the one thing, and this is important for people, for all of us to know, what I learned in seminary, I learned many things, but the one big thing I learned is how much I already knew.
Oh.
So it's fascinating how oftentimes we don't think we know things, or we don't trust our intuition. So for me, what I teach is that we need to trust our intuition, ourselves, and the connection. And this is the other thing. We don't need an intermediary. We have a direct line to whatever you want to call your higher power. Some people don't want to call it God because they have bad experiences with the church.
Right.
So whatever you want to call spirit or the divine, but we're able and should, because we are emanations of spirit, to connect through being silent, through meditation.
Right.
Yeah.
And this connection that you talk about, is this similar to like the mind, body, spirit connection that we are familiar with?
Yes.
That it kind of brings all three into into alignment, would you say?
Yeah.
By doing these
practices. And you can do walking quietly, meditations, sitting. People get intimidated by meditation, the word meditation.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely. And I'll tell a silly story. Do you want me to tell you a story?
Yes, I want to hear it.
I went to Transcendental Meditation when I was in college in Boston. I went to their center, and because I needed to calm my mind. So I went in there, and they sent me into a room. They gave me a mantra, and they told me, don't forget it, because if you do, it's lost, because we don't keep the mantras here.
Oh.
So I think I was 18 or 19. So I went into this room. I sat down. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's picture was up on the thing, and I sat there and I said, I forgot my mantra.
Oh no! You hadn't even started.
I hadn't even. I was by myself. They put you into a room.
Right.
And so I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to? So I did go out. I said to them, I forgot. And she happened to remember.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I went back in. But it was so funny because
that's funny.
I don't meditate with a mantra now. And there are different ways to meditate, to do meditation. But I teach meditation, and I think it's really important. When I don't meditate in the day, then it makes a difference in my life.
I get that. I do too. Yeah, even if it's just a few minutes of my tuning in to myself. And I think about, a lot of practices talk about how we need to love ourselves unconditionally. And why is it so hard for us to do that? I mean, it's just, we try that. Maybe that's what we're striving for in this meditation practice, or connecting with the mind, the body, the spirit. But what does that even mean? Does it have a meaning to you to just love ourselves unconditionally?
Yes, and that's what I teach. If I were to say what do I teach and help people to love themselves and to know they're good enough just the way they are. Now, having said that, we always can get better, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully we will. But could I sing a little bit, 2 lines of one of my songs?
Feel called to do that? I think this would be a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, and maybe at the end do you our soul song. So I write music. I write my music. And one of the early songs that I wrote is, you're good enough for anything, You're good enough right now. You're good enough. You have the stuff. You're good enough right now. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
So I sing that, and I teach that to my groups, and then we sing it together. I'm good enough. So I think unconditional love, and I've thought a lot about this, is when I was a chaplain, I worked as a spiritual counselor in hospice, and one of the things that's important is how you see whatever your higher power is. Is it a loving, unconditional force?
Okay.
Energy, whatever you want to. Is that? Because if it is, then you're going to feel that you are loved unconditionally.
I get
and
it.
then
Okay.
start knowing that you can do that for yourself.
Right.
So we aren't conditioned by much of the church, many of the churches, to love ourselves. That's ego.
Oh,
No.
So that might explain why so many of us struggle with that unconditional love of ourselves, or even loving ourselves. I mean, there are people that it's hard to say that. I know. What was her name? Louise Hay always practiced that in front of the mirror every day, saying, "I love you, I love you." And so many people can't do that. And we struggle with that. And do you think that's why? Because we have this perception that there's some judgmental energy that's telling us we're not good enough.
Yes, and we were taught that.
Yeah.
You see, children, if you watch babies, they love themselves. They love their toes. They love their fingers.
That's true.
They love everything about
They're like
themselves.
delighted by
everything. And then
Yeah.
what happened? Our parents were conditioned, so they condition us. So we need to heal those things.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have to do it through years and years of talk therapy. I think, yes, there are traumas, there are things we have to work out. But through practices of mindfulness too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I teach, and that's important for us, is that we learn to know what we're thinking. What thoughts are we telling ourselves during the day?
Listening to yourself.
Listening
and what
to yourself.
That inner voice is saying. Yes.
Like you can say, "Oh, that was stupid," or "Why do I always do?" Yeah, blah 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 blah. Those are not good thoughts.
Right. Right. No, I always say if it's not something I would say to like my best friend,
yes,
I shouldn't say it to myself.
There you go.
If I would only say kind, encouraging, supportive things to my best friend, then that's how I should talk to myself.
Absolutely.
That's what my theory was.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely true. And we can do that, and I think it's a practice we can do all day long, because things will happen.
We need to.
And just to stop. What I say is I stop, I pause, and then I shift it. And then there are beautiful things that you can put all over your mirror, or just tell yourself, they've done studies, and when you tell children, you repeat these phrases: "You're beautiful, you're smart, you're courageous, you're strong, you're all of those wonderful things," you believe those. You start to believe them. Well, why can't we do that now for ourselves as
We're
adults?
Not too old. I think we could do it now.
I think, and so I do that for myself.
Yeah.
And I encourage people to do that. And that helps you to love yourself.
So it's a process. It's not something.
It is a process.
It's a process to love yourself first, and then to love yourself unconditionally is, I think, even a little further, right? Just to say, okay.
Yes, yes, and forgiveness.
And forgiveness, yeah.
For things, because we look at the past and we say, "Oh boy, this person did this to me, I did this to this person." So forgiveness is a big piece of that.
Yeah.
And it is, like you're saying, it's a process, and it's a commitment, I think, to yourself, to want to be the best you can be.
Yeah.
And many people don't want to make that commitment. But the people who do, it's the best thing in the world.
Right.
Because then you can be yourself.
Right.
Your authentic, wonderful self, and love yourself for that. And there's no better feeling.
Oh, that's
than
beautiful. And I would say if you want to change your life, that's how to do it. To do it. You change your life that way, a little bit at a time, on that journey of loving yourself, and then the outside of your life, the rest of your relationships, your work, everything else will change with it once you change.
That's
inside.
right.
That's what I believe.
Absolutely, I believe that too. And by having that inner light, we're giving it out to the rest of the world. And love is the most powerful force.
Absolutely.
You know, and so if we love ourselves and we give it out, then the world will change.
Yeah. Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit, or maybe you can describe some of the healing work that you do. I mean, you combine all of this experience you have with the spirituality and spiritual teachings and music and dance and acting and healing. And how does this all come to play in your work?
That's an interesting question. You know, when I went to seminary and I've had a church and I've done all those other things, I missed performing. I missed using that.
Okay.
So I combined, and in the beginning, I didn't know if it was going to work. But it's through doing this work, it's through groups of people and seeing how they feel, watching them change, having the comments to me about, that really touched my heart, or I felt really wonderful about myself, or whatever the wonderful comments are, then I say, it's working.
Yeah.
And so that's the only way we know, I think, is through doing. And I just want to do this more and more because people need it right now.
Yeah.
More than ever.
I love that way that you developed it too. It wasn't just, here's my teaching and I'm going to get it out and tell everybody. It's like you went out and did it, not even sure how it was going to be received, and then took the feedback, the positive feedback, and said, okay, I know I'm going to expand from this now because I know it's working and I know it's helping people. And I really love that. It's a much more organic way to create your healing work and your healing practice, rather than saying, I got this and I have to, teach it and this is the way you do it.
Yeah, well, I've directed so many plays. I had a theater company at one time, and because of that, I know, and if I look at a group of people, because of my intuition, and I will say, I need to go in this direction.
I see. So you're doing that in the
I
moment.
do that.
Yeah.
I can do that. And I'm able, and I love the fact to be flexible and to be able to say, well, this group needs this.
Yeah.
This group, I've talked to people that aren't necessarily in the business world. It's a different thing, you don't, and I'll ask groups, do you want to talk about more about the spiritual aspect of, and they'll say yes, or they'll say no. And it doesn't mean that I'm not bringing that,
right?
Because I just bring me.
But you can present it.
I can present it in a way that they feel comfortable.
And that's where I think all of your previous experience with your talents and your performances and acting really comes into play. If I was to venture to guess, I would say that's what it is that you can use your intuition to kind of read what's going on and then say, okay, I know something that would make this connection with this audience.
Yes, or if someone's feeling uncomfortable, I don't have to stop and it's just, that's one of the things that I was born with, I think, is
that's great.
Being highly intuitive. So I just use that. Yeah, in what I do.
Yeah, and I imagine you used it. You worked as well in a hospice as a spiritual counselor and supported people struggling with addiction as well. And was that different when people were struggling with addiction, or did you do the same thing, kind of tuning into
that was more
needed?
Counseling. So I've done a lot of counseling.
That was one-to-one.
And group counseling.
Oh, and group. Okay.
But the spiritual counseling and hospice came to me, I was looking for a job then. In seminary, there were people who wanted to do just hospice. That's what, I never thought that. And I helped, as a minister, I've helped people through passing away. I mean, I did that. And it never, it's an incredible, sacred experience. But I think I have to write a book on working as a spiritual counselor in hospice, because it was an amazing,
I'm sure.
time.
I mean, what you must have learned yourself in that process through the, there's suffering, there's forgiveness, like you mentioned, but then there's also the human resilience.
No, there were all different clients. There were some people who were atheists. There were some people who were very religious. So, but spirit is amazing. Yeah. And so, anyway, it was a time. It was 2 years, and very sacred.
So, what do people most need now spiritually? You said that we need the kinds of things that you offer, like the music and the soul connection and everything. But what is it we really need? We're on the brink of something here in humanity. We're really, I think, coming onto the planet in a new way. We're awakening in a new way. What is it you think that we need as a whole to help us navigate this next step that many of us don't even know? Like what's next?
For me, it's really knowing your humanity, to know that we are all one, and that even though we may look different, we may have different opinions, to have love and kindness for each other. I think that kind of connection, to stay off media and listening to all that stuff, to know that human beings are incredible. There are so many wonderful things people are doing for each other. Yeah. And so we need to connect more personally, and to know how we are connected, and our humanity, and to be kind and loving. Yeah. That will change everything.
Absolutely, I agree. Thank you. Because I do feel like that's all, what we need is what you're talking about, is being able to talk about these positive experiences and the uplifting things and shining the light like we do on this show, is because we are so dampened down by the negativity in our world. And it's hard to get beyond it. It's not easy to just turn off everything and say, okay, I'm not going to connect with the digital world. It's very hard to do that. So we have to find ways that we can still connect as humans with each other in a new way. And you also talk about joy, just the energy of joy as we go through transition, which I think is so important. How can we do that? Like, how can we maintain our joy as even if we're going through transition in our personal lives?
Well, I think to know what it is that the little things, that they're not little really, but for me, being in nature, it just changes, and I would recommend that for everyone. Get out and walk with the trees, see the birds. Out the backyard, we saw, what was it? Wasn't it gopher? And bunnies. All, to watch these creatures and to be with the trees and the water, and that's part of it. But do the joys of things, like I do salsa dancing every Wednesday night. So for me, that's my joy. I do stay off the news a lot. I can, and I would suggest that too for people, because that negative can really, like you say, dampen things. But to find those things, it's okay for us to feel joy. Even though there's chaos all around, we can and we should.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I think that's true, is that some people might feel guilty about feeling joyful when there's so much sadness and pain and trauma in the world, right? So it's like we have to remember that through these transitions, whether it's personal transition or spiritual or whatever it is, that like you were giving some really good examples. Nature is definitely the best example too, to really come back to your joy. There's nothing to feel guilty about. You can still do that even though the outside world hasn't changed.
Well, we're meant to be joyful. That's why we're here. We're here to
meant
learn.
to be joyful. Yeah.
And this, in our lifetimes, I believe we're eternal. So that's what we're here for. We're not here to suffer.
Yeah.
We will go through things, but and it's okay. I mean, we could have that conversation about how we get through those situations. But yeah, we're here to experience joy.
To experience joy. I love that. So tell everybody how to find you, how to connect with you if they want to work with you or find out what you do.
I have a website, and it's You Are a Soul Song. And my name is Donnadia, my first name, and that's Donnadia. So Donnadia's You Are a Soul Song. I love to work with all different kinds of groups. I know how to to work with people for what their needs are.
Yeah.
And so speaking or doing a show, it can be tweaked for you.
I love it. Customized for whatever you need or whatever your group needs.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here on the show today. This was beautiful.
It was my pleasure.
And I'm glad you got to take those few minutes just to sing that song about You Are Enough, because that, I think, was so beautiful and something that we'll all remember, too, about
good.
the show.
I was going to sing you another one, but I know we're out of time.
We're out of time. Sorry, but I'll have to have you come back.
That would be fun. I'll sing you You Are a Soul Song.
Okay.
It was a joy.
Yeah.
It was a joy being with you, Leah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Donnadia. And thank you, all of you, for watching or listening here today on Rise, Heal, and Grow with Leah M. Hill. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you're joining us on today. And if you'd like to be a guest yourself, we film right here at the BevCam studio in Beverly, Massachusetts. All you have to do is go to apollosunrise.com/podcast and fill out the form. Thanks so much for joining us today, and please join us again soon. We have lots more episodes coming up.